fellow romance readers, I'm Amy.
And I'm Sarah, and this is Post-Book Depression. You know that feeling you get when you finish a good book that you didn't want to end?
Have you finished a book and just weren't ready to move on from the story and its beloved characters? You find yourself needing just a little more? This multi-trope romance podcast gives you the opportunity to dig deeper with us into books we love as we discuss all the reasons we can't move on.
Feeling chatty? You can continue the conversation with us on Instagram at Post-Book Depression Podcast or on Facebook in our Post-Book Depression discussion group.
We would be so grateful if you would subscribe to our podcast and take a moment to leave a review.
Are you ready? Let's discuss.
Hi everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Amy.
And I'm Sarah, and today we're going to be discussing Anywhere With You by Ellie Palmer.
The first few minutes we're going to do a brief review of the story without any spoilers, and then we are going to shift over into a deeper book discussion. It's going to include lots of spoilers, but don't worry. We're going to let you know before we do shift over into that deeper book discussion.
That's right, so before we jump over, Amy, tell us a little bit about the story.
After being left by a man that she was sure was too boring to ever leave, a young woman figures out the key to true happiness is protecting yourself from surprises. When her sister announces she's eloping in the northern woods of Minnesota, she catches a ride to the wedding with her longtime friend who is gorgeous, but very unreliable. When sparks fly, she's forced to face her feelings about him and her feelings about love. Sarah, what did you think about Anywhere With You?
This story was a doozy for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a doozy. I cannot relate to this chick at all, you guys. I was like, the whole time. But I love the kind of road trip. There's some funny moments throughout that happen that and I love the male main character in this story.
Me too.
Pretty swoon worthy.
Yes.
So yeah, what did you think?
Yes, this story was witty, it was charming, it was a delight. I laughed a lot in this story. I love a good road trip trope. It's one of my favorite kind of, they don't normally come to the top of my mind when I think of favorite tropes, but then when I read them, I really enjoy them.
Yeah,
I
they're
think
fun.
it's because there's some forced proximity in there, which I do love, so.
Yeah.
Let's get into those ratings. Angst.
This was a 4 for me.
4! Wow, folks, I think this is the highest you've rated any Angst book.
It was a 4.
Or at least one of the top.
Let me
Tell us
explain why.
Okay.
I'm not kidding when I say I don't get this chick.
Okay.
Like, she is so
Can you give us, like, any little, like,
of my
crumbs?
personality? She's very, she's too safe for my liking.
Okay.
She's very safe. And she tries to protect everybody to the same level that she protects herself. And I did not...
You didn't vibe with that?
I did not vibe with that, and
That's
neither
fair.
does her sister. Yeah, it was a lot of angst for me. Just because, we are very different types of people. So it was an interesting story for me, and I'm not gonna lie, that personality was very angsty for me.
Okay,
it was
that's
just
fair.
Like, I was very strong. I was like, girl, like, and I'll dive more into like those emotions later on. I can't say too much.
I gave it a 1.5. I was not as angst-filled as Sarah. I think I was distracted by the character's point of view, mostly with the male main character, swoon-worthiness, and the witty humor in the story.
And he's swoony, but not enough to cover up that angst. I mean, the girl needed to, like, chill a bit, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, humor.
For me, it was more angst, so it was like a 1.5. Now, I say that, but there are some very funny moments in this story. So my 1.5, like when I say that 1.5, those moments are really good.
Really,
you know
dense.
what I'm saying? So I feel like yours is going to be higher.
I did 2.25.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud a lot. There were some comedic scenes, like, in my mind, I'm thinking of several scenes, not just one-liners or one-off things that made me chuckle. There were scenes that had me very much laughing out loud, and the dialogue
I was laughing out loud through a lot. There is one incredible scene that is, like, phenomenal. But again, I just felt so much angst with her look on life. I was so stressed for this girl. Like, I wanted to hug her and say, it's going to be okay.
Okay, spiciness.
This was a 1.
I did 1.75.
Yeah, I
and
didn't
a lot
think
of
it
that
was done. It was very clean. It was
clean. Yes. Most of my 1.75, probably 1.25 of this was tension. The sexual tension was on fire.
Yeah,
I wrote that in my notes multiple times. The sexual tension is fire.
Especially with him. I mean.
Tears.
0.25, but I wanted to cry more for her because I was just like,
it's not sad.
Let's talk about it, you know? Like, you know what I'm saying? Overall, this was a 4 for me. It was such a cute story, but I was stressed to the max.
I did 4.25. I enjoyed the story immensely. I loved the humor, as I've mentioned. The connection between the two characters. Yeah. I wasn't sure how the author was going to bring us around at the end, and I enjoyed the ride. Sarah was a little stressed on the ride. I was here for the thrill.
I didn't know where the author was going to take us. Ellie, if you were listening. And I was so stressed.
She texted me several times, or we talked several times, and she was very angst-filled.
Very angst.
I love it.
But it's a delightful story.
Yes, it is.
Hang on. That's what I want to say. If you are like me, listener, and you just feel the angst, just hang on. Because at the end, the author really brings it home in such an incredible way that it's worth the read.
That concludes the spoiler-free quick review of this story. Now we're going to shift over into the deeper book discussion, which is going to include lots of spoilers. So if you haven't read this story, please go check it out and then come back and join us on our deeper discussion and learn about why Sarah was so full of angst. Then we would love to connect with you on social media. You can find us on Instagram at Postbook Depression Podcast, on Facebook in our Postbook Depression discussion group, and you can always email us at postbookdepressionpodcast@gmail.com. The story kicks off. Charlie's husband wants a divorce.
Yes, he does.
And she's holding a phallic straw.
That was so funny to me. Okay, could you imagine, like, you're just standing there like it's any other day, and you having to have a serious discussion while that's in your hand. I'm just, the image that the author paints in that moment was so comical to me, and yet so sad. Also, I was really focused on the rowing part.
Oh, yes, me too. The metaphorical.
Yeah, I was just like, okay.
Symbolism of it. Here's this boring guy that she thought he would never leave. Yeah. He has no reason to leave.
And now he wants passion and adventure in life. So
yeah, she's thrown for a loop.
Yeah.
One of the tail end pieces of this section of the opening is that she texts whom we don't know yet, Ethan, her long lost friend, and says, "Turns out you were right."
Yeah.
And that kind of sets the groundwork for establishing. There was a little bit of inner dialogue about how her husband did not like Ethan. There were some red flags in his mind with her friendship with Ethan. But all we know up till this point is that something has transpired and they haven't really spoken in a year. And she sends this text.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Ethan. Let's move over to Ethan and Charlie's friendship. There's a little bit to cover here with their friendship because it did span over several years. They meet when they're 13 and 15. We'll come back to the meet cute here shortly. But I want to ask you, do you feel like, they've known each other since they were kids. Do you feel like friendships that have this robust history, do they hinder or do they encourage romance, do you think?
Oh, I could make so many people upset with my opinion on this. I'm going to speak from what I personally feel. Okay? Because I know that a lot of people think that it's totally cool to maintain friendships, but I'm just going to be real, and they're how I kind of view it. My husband and I became really good friends, and we're married. Okay?
Same.
I married my best friend. I have another guy friend I've been friends with since first grade, but I don't chat with him all the time because we're married now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I feel like I'm not answering this question very well.
My question is, do you feel like growing up, these childhood friends deliver stories? Do you feel like that lends itself to a trope of moving towards romance? You said you and your husband were friends first and you're like best friends and kind of you had a long history together. Yeah. So it would venture to say, yes, you feel like
it didn't play out the way it does in books and stuff. It was a little bit different for us, but yeah, we were friends first. So I think friends to lovers can happen. I think it can put a strain on any other romantic relationships if you are having a best friend relationship, but then
they're not
you all are each
partner.
other's like world, but then they get a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I can definitely see where there's that possessiveness. Yeah. And I kind of saw that in Charlie's character throughout the story. And I'm like, that's kind of why sometimes that's why I feel like sometimes that doesn't work, because whether they're saying it or not, there are feelings. Now, do I feel like you can have a best friend and not have any romantic feelings towards them? Sure. I didn't dive deep into what I was thinking, but yeah, so maybe nobody will be too upset with my opinion.
Let's go back to their meet cute. They were 13 and 15.
Yeah.
And she is a family that kind of moves around quite a bit with her dad's job, which we'll dig into here in a bit. But let's talk about their meet cute. They were younger, and she shows up with her sister Laurel. They're new to the neighborhood, and here come Ethan and Petey. The kids on the block, they see them, and they want to get to know the new kids, more or less. And they kind of invite them to sneak out of the house and go check out Lake Llewellyn. They're going to do some cliff diving, and all they know is that Petey says wear a swimsuit. Yeah,
I thought this was a fun scene.
It was.
I liked the meet cute for this. It felt very authentic to how you could meet.
Yes, and
a neighborhood kid.
And he being Ethan, picks up on she brings her camera and picks up on the fact she's nervous to jump off this cliff, that everybody else is cliff diving, and he invites her to go take some pictures in nature instead. And I really liked that he picked up on that early on. Their friendship evolves over the years from, she ends up moving away, of course, with her dad's job changing, and they start writing letters to each other. It started with him writing as an assignment from class that he writes to her. I did too. And then that turns into letters to email to texting over the years. So, of course, their friendship continued to grow. And then we learned that she follows him to college.
Yeah. I thought that was fun because it wasn't in a creepy way, where you grow up and then like, I'm going to go to the same place as you just because. But there had been separation. I mean, they really weren't in the same town for very long before they moved. And so I like that they ended up going to the same college. I thought that was fun.
There was a little scene at the end where it's clear he had no idea that was the reason why when Laurel's throwing out all her secrets in front of him. And then there was the scene I really liked, which was kind of pivotal. We learn later in the story when they run out of gas, he's walking with her. Well, he has the conversation. He compares her to a clock. Predictable.
Yeah.
All of that. That doesn't sit well with her. How did you feel in that moment?
I agree with Ethan. I think that Charlie definitely has that kind of predictable personality.
She 100% does.
She really does. She really, really does. And I also understand where she was kind of, well, that's not cool. But I think she only thought that because she thinks he's saying it as something negative. But it wasn't a negative statement.
No.
He wasn't dissing her or anything. So
this is also the scene that he tells her she's beautiful for the first time, and from his point of view later we learn that this is kind of the moment where he's realizing he has feelings for her more than friendship.
Yeah,
that's why I kind of said it was a pivotal moment more for him, because he's realizing, oh, I like this girl more than just being a friend.
I think if she was honest with herself, she's already had that realization. She just squashes it down. And that's where some of the angst for me came in, is because I felt like Charlie has denied her attraction and her feelings so much throughout their friendship to the point that it's infuriating. Like, oh my goodness.
It's like she's got blinders on the whole time and is ignoring.
I don't even feel like she has blinders on. It's like she has moments where it will flare and she recognizes, but then she's like, oh no, let's put that in the box because, and then we'll list off reasons why it shouldn't happen. I'm just like, that's boring. You are a clock. Go for it, girlfriend. Like, do that little trendy thing where I'm going to kiss my best friend. That's what I wanted her. I was like, all right, can we play that song? Somebody roll it. But yeah, she just didn't pick up on that.
He has plans. He is forced to have plans to take over the family donut business, which he can't eat because of the gluten, which I found a little ironic.
Okay, as a mom of 2 children with food allergies and autoimmune diseases, that involve food. This was horrifying for me because he has celiac. And they wanted him to take over. I kept thinking in my mind, there's no way that they actually expect that of him. They surely are just like, this is if he wants it. So I was really glad that did not, that's how it kind of played out later on. You find out that there was no pressure. Because
but
I was
he didn't
thinking,
know that at first.
But he didn't know that. But I also thought, there's no way I could have my kid with celiac. Like, yeah, we'll go make all the things that you can't have. What? No, that would not happen. So I was like, yeah, that's...
Well, it's really this that sets the tone for the fact that he yearns to travel. And he's a musician. He's wanting a career, like playing music. Not so much in the spotlight. He didn't care about that, but he wants to do music. He wants to travel to different venues and things. And it's really rooted in the fact that he feels stuck in this hometown and forced into a business he can't even enjoy.
Right.
And so it's Charlie early on in their friendship that encourages him, have a conversation with your parents. And when he finally does, they give him the green light. This is not our dream. If you want something different, then please feel free to do that. And he's very excited about it. He's going to go on tour, and he's so excited. He wants to share this with her, and he invites her to come. But on the flip side of that, we've learned that her dad travels so much and feels like family is an interesting idea, but inconvenient in practice. And this is what she has witnessed all her life. So she's very rooted in the fact that she wants something stable.
Right.
She doesn't want to be on the move. So let's talk about the scene where he is asking her to come travel with her.
I was all like, go, he's so in love with you. This is the part where it really infuriated me that she could not pick up on the fact that he has been in love with her for years.
Yeah.
For years. And she, every time he tries to explain that to her, she's just, no. That scene where he is asking her to come is so vulnerable to me and raw that and then when he retracts it because he sees her reaction.
Yeah.
My heart hurts so much for Ethan.
Oh, me too.
Because I'm picturing her personality and he can see it registering on her face. And he is just trying to fix it. Like, okay, you know what? Never mind. I don't even know why I said that.
Backtracking, yeah.
And it made me sad. I didn't like it. Now, on the flip side of that, it took me a lot I really, because you know me, I like to put myself in the character's place. A lot when I can't understand them. I did not understand Charlie because I'm so vastly different from her. So when I was thinking about what she has experienced in her life and her childhood, I understand why she ticks the way she does. Ticks. She's a clock.
She's a clock.
Anyway. So anyway, I understand that, and I understand her desire for something stable. And I also understand why in her mind, Ethan is more like her dad. Because he has that wanderlust and wants to go and travel and do, and why she would compare him to her dad. Now, I don't think she's correct in doing that.
Yes,
because
which she realizes at the end of the story. Oh, thank goodness. It took a long way to get there, but she does.
4 in the angst, people. 4 in the angst. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. What about you?
Yeah, no, I agree with what you said. I felt like it was stressful. You really wanted her to just live a little, like show some adventure, but it's not true to who she was in that moment. And so I feel like if the author had written it where she had gone, I feel like, one, we would have had a drastically different story. But I feel like she would have been unhappy because I don't think she was at a point yet to really wrap her mind and heart around what she really wants in life.
Also, in her defense, she's getting ready to take the LSAT.
Yes, and this has been a dream.
And
for a little while.
Not a little while, really. She chose it because it's stable.
Well, yeah.
So,
okay.
Not really. But she's young and she's trying to figure out her education and her career and what she's going to do. So, also on that side, it does make sense why she would not just chase after, his dream with him. I also kind of didn't feel like she was very fair because she's like, you want me to come with you until you're bored with me?
Yeah, that was low.
Yeah. Angst for people.
let's move back to the present timeline. After her divorce, after she sends that text to Ethan, he, quote unquote, happens to be in the area, which we learn later he wasn't.
Yeah.
He actually made a beeline to come to her after all this time because she's finally single again. Let's talk about, okay, this is one of my favorite hilarious scenes. Not as funny as the shower one, which we'll get to, but I liked when she's trying to have the thought process of her night. She had gotten drunk at the place. Yeah. And she's looking out and she's thinking, did I steal a van?
Yeah.
And then when she sees him, the conversation, his first is, I'm sorry, you look really bad. Your hair is mid-takeoff. I could just imagine her hair in that way. And do you have on 2 different shoes? And it was those clip-on rowing shoes. Were they rowing shoes? I think they were rowing shoes. I was laughing in this scene.
Was not doing so hot that day. I loved his honesty. Yes. I thought, see, that's friendship right there. You don't look so good.
Yeah, so they're catching up. They come in, or she invites him into the house, which also, she worked very hard to buy the house from her ex-husband.
To have a bedroom.
All the stuff. She couldn't afford anything else.
I love her bar cart right by the bed. And his comment, I love that everybody, like her sister and Petey, when they come into the room later too, that it's like a whole thing, and that Petey's like, we should get a refrigerator now. It's so funny. I'm like, wow, that's so sad. How do you have to be, what has to be going through one's mind to fight so hard for a house that you can only be,
like, can only afford one room.
Stay in one room. It's just so sad.
Ethan and Charlie have had this game for a long time. Could never be me.
Yeah.
Game. And this is kind of their gentle reminder that both of them are eternally undateable disasters. Yeah. Essentially. And every time there's a quality about themselves or the other, really, that feels undateable or would, not really glean them in the best light with a date, they just say to one another, it could never be me. Yeah. And this comes throughout the story. One of the saddest, in my opinion, is after the bachelorette party when they're separating and it's said could never be me. That made me sad. Yeah, that one I think is where a little bit of the tears come in. I just hurt for Ethan. I felt like, well, it's an unrequited love, like an unexpressed love, basically. Even though she had feelings, she suppressed those. Just didn't want to see what he felt for her. And if he told her, she didn't believe him. I didn't like that. It made me sad. Basically, Ethan has 1 week before his next gig, and while he's there and they're catching up, Charlie's sister Laurel gives her a call and lets her know that she is engaged to her on-again, off-again situationship, Petey. Charlie is none too thrilled about this. Yes. She's very nervous about how this is going to end, and she asks Laurel, will you wait to elope? Wait until we get there. We want to come witness. We want to be your witnesses. And so Ethan and Charlie are going to embark on this road trip to Montana to catch up to their wedding. Lo and behold, Charlie wants to try and stop it, which I know is where a lot of the angst came for you. Yeah. Let's talk about this road trip. There's some really great scenes on this road trip. One of my most favorite is the shower scene. She has motion sickness. Yeah, she does. She throws up, gets it on herself. In her hair. Oh, that was gross. That part was gross. He was so great. Oh, he was the best. I love when he asked her, he's like, do you still get motion sickness? She's like, no, I'm totally fine. Well, right before she gets sick, her friend tells her that her ex-husband has already moved on and he's engaged. What a horrible Why do people do that? I don't know. What is the point? I don't know. I don't understand. I felt like that friend needed to go. Like, they needed to go. How is that supportive of your friendship? It's not. How does that lift her up? It doesn't. It's not. And if you do that, shame. They're at a truck stop. And so she decides to go in the shower. And Sarah, I have never thought of you more than I have in this moment. This was so me. Like, when she opens the door, she's like, psst. And then he's talking to, like, making eyes with the hot chick at the... He is not making eyes. No, he's not. She's making eyes with him. She's making eyes. And this is where her jealousy rears its ugly head. But I love that she convinces him to come in
And I thought, they're so close. The whole time, it's not even till the end that she realizes that she's naked and he's been outside the shower curtain. I love that moment. Talk about the tension when he brushes her ribs.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! I was like, oh my gosh, they cannot do this in the dirty bathroom. It's so gross.
This is
there.
after they talk about
the
Felix
spider.
the spider.
So great. Oh, it was so great. But
her just dialogue in this scene made me laugh so much.
the eggs, we know it smells like. When I saw the title of the chapter, I thought, what?
I know.
And then when that clerk lady says that to her, I thought, eh. And then when they both comment, like even Ethan says something about the smell of the water.
Oh, that's great.
It was so gross. Yeah, that would be 1,000% me. Amy knows. That is me. I would. And I wouldn't even care if the person saw me naked. I was like, you're not leaving until nothing is touching the floor.
And then when he leaves and her shirt goes in the toilet,
she comes out with that t-shirt.
Oh, it's
the
great.
t-shirt is so funny.
Oh, my cheeks hurt just from laughing from that
That
scene.
was the best scene. So funny and relatable.
And relatable for you.
Relatable. For me.
For me. I would have stood in the shower barefooted. Probably not, because I wouldn't have.
God.
I'm kidding.
It smells like eggs, Amy.
Even the cashier told her, don't take your shoes off.
I'm going to tell you
I would
something
have heeded that warning.
right now. I am not Charlie. And I'm going to tell you why. I would have stood naked on the side of the road with his van shower. I would have. 1,000%. I would have taken one step into that bathroom and said, nope, and walked right back out to the second offer that he had for me.
Well, you know, her hair smells like eggs now, too, if it was in the water.
Thank you. That's what I kept thinking. I was like, that's gonna stay on you. That's so gross. No, I would have been naked for all the world to see. I would not care. I wouldn't. I would have been on the side of the road, and Ethan would have just, been wherever. I don't know, been shielding me at that point.
A little bit into their road trip, they make a little detour. Not intentionally. They're trying to pull off. They don't realize it's a trail.
Yeah.
And they get stuck.
Yeah.
And then it's a small town, so every time they try and call a tow truck, they got to get, what's his name? Alf. Yeah.
Oh.
I should have known. Alf. They have to get his permission, and he's, he can't be reached this time of night. So they get stuck. But one of the things that I loved about this scene, he kind of spoils her a bit with the dinner, the steak or whatever, or the fish. And the risotto and pulling out all the stops. I did appreciate the fact that she asked him, is this what you do for all the ladies that you bring out? And he makes jokes about that.
Yeah.
This was a good scene, but it also kind of leads to a little bit of intimacy, not sexual intimacy at this point. There's kind of some sexual tension there. And
they kiss.
They do kiss, and then they go to share the bed. And that's where I'm like, ooh, the tension right now is happening. And then they go to start making out, and he stops and says, who am I right now? Who am I to you right now? Oh, me too. That first of all,
because they were having a heated moment.
Yes, they were. Like, it was on the path of real spice real quick.
And now, right here, this is where, again, she doesn't pick up on the fact he is obsessed with her. He is so gone for this girl.
With that one question alone, she should have realized it. And I loved that at the end of that, he says, next time it will be for us.
Okay, now see, this is where this story, the author kept me.
Okay.
Because I'll just be honest. If it was Charlie's personality, I would have had to belt. But Ethan kept me in this.
Okay.
I love the way the author wrote him. Because he does not get discouraged.
Yeah.
I love that he says, you will kiss me again. And she's thinking, what? Whatever. I love also that they're able to go back to being goofy and silly and laughing and having like genuine laughter. And
I don't know if it was this scene or another one I'm thinking about when the next morning she says, let's just forget that, pretend that didn't happen. I love that he says, I will not.
Yes.
Because it
is the next morning.
It meant something to me, and I will not pretend like it did not happen.
Yeah.
I loved that.
And they had that nice little tension against the donut shop wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that somebody could take maple long and make it. I mean, woo. But, I love that about Ethan, though. I love that he is not put off by, because he knows her. Mm-hmm. This is what's so great about him. He knows her so well that I feel like he's kind of at this point that, okay, we've gone on long enough. I cannot live without this girl. I'm sure she has feelings for me, and I know she's going to try every little tactic to push me away, and I'm not going to let it happen. And that's what kept me in this story, was that kind of, that I want to fight for this love. Yeah. I know that we have a love between us, and I want to fight for it.
Oh, that's
and
so
that
good.
was so good.
That's so good. Moving on to when we actually get into Montana and the place where the wedding is going to take place. They have to rent canoes from Wet Ted.
Okay, that right there has some humor into it when she wakes up that next morning and has Wet Ted.
Yes.
And then we finally figure, whenever that comes in.
It was written on her hand.
Yeah, I was like, okay, Wet Ted. Got it.
When they're getting their canoes from him, it's after they depart that Ethan is upset because of how blatant Ted was hitting on her right in front of him. He doesn't know our relationship is what he said, and he's very frustrated by that. I do like that Charlie kind of reassured him in that moment, and they start to get a little bit intimate again. Yeah. Quickly leading somewhere else, but then they get interrupted by Bucket Hat Man.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did jump off the cliff. We have to acknowledge they jumped off a cliff.
Yes.
And that was just so, I knew that they were going to come up and start making out, because I bet that was like an adrenaline rush.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's a good point.
I thought they'll make out after that, because she just got a burst of adrenaline. Yeah, I love that he's like trying to pump the brakes of like, we are not doing this against a tree outside. Yeah, that was funny.
Bucket Hat Man takes him up to the camp where Laurel is, and Charlie is just fixated on, I've got to get to Laurel. I do want to back up and say, because clearly Ethan knows her motives to come. He agrees to bring her, but he doesn't really want to be a part of breaking up the wedding.
Well, and he kind of tells her, he says, you're just going to talk to her.
Yes.
Like, it's kind of let them be happy. Say what you want to say, but let them be happy. Let them make their own decision.
Yeah.
I don't think he realizes that she's taking the path that she's trying to take.
So when she gets up there, and there's a whole collection of people up there that are new and trying to find a good time to have a one-on-one with Laurel, it just doesn't present itself. There's no real opportunity. Yeah. And there's different little mishaps that keep happening to
trench foot.
Yes, the trench foot. Ooh, that was gross. To keep them from getting married. Yeah. Essentially. And they finally come down. They have to take the trench foot guy into the emergency room or the hospital or whatever it was. So the whole camp kind of comes down below. This is when they are going to spend the night in the camper together. And this is when they finally sleep together. And it's because they want... They want to. She wants to live in the moment. She doesn't... And I was happy with this, because I really thought that she was going to continue to drag out her feelings. And she kind of thinks, I will take whatever I can get of him until he leaves. Again, I'm still frustrated. My angst level is still high, because she's making... We don't like assumptions, right? Yeah. And Charlie makes a lot of assumptions about Ethan. Yes. And that, for me, the angst went through the roof, because she just keeps assuming that he's going to leave. Yeah, she has this fear that he's going to move on without her, or get bored with her, or be like her father and want to travel. And she's very obsessed with her work, and she's very dedicated to her job. And so at this point, in our minds as the reader, we're not sure how the story is going to come together. How are you going to take someone with the wanderlust and someone who's very much rooted in one place and have a relationship that works? Yeah. We're unclear who's going to give, who's going to compromise their lifestyle, basically. Right. And that was very hard to see. I felt like the author did a good job of keeping it tight, like where you could not figure out which direction she was going to go. Because I kept thinking in my mind, these two don't make sense. They don't make sense. But I also felt like her job, she had left us these little breadcrumbs throughout the story of how she chose the career she did because of certain reasons. And then she also tells, is it Bob? I feel like it's Bob. I think it's Bob. When she finally tells him off and then like puts her phone down, like, okay, all right, okay. So she's not gonna completely just be, She's a little unhappy with where she's at.
Yeah, and so that made me, I was like, okay, I can see where the author's taking this now. I was happy that they had their moment, and then I was happy that we start seeing Charlie kind of look at her life a little bit and what she wants.
A little bit.
Self-reflection. Girl needed it. Girl needs some therapy. I mean, she has some very deep-seated feelings of her life and her whole mentality. So
she was so passionate about that. I just could not see the author changing that about her. She was just so rooted in the fact she was adamant she wanted stabilization. And this is the life that she had planned. So
right.
I was on pins and needles waiting to see how it was going to come to fruition.
Clearly.
She finally has an opportunity alone with Laurel, and this turns into quite the confrontation with Laurel storming off into the canoes, and they're canoeing down the water and have quite the confrontation. One of my favorite lines that Laurel says to Charlie when it's really gone to blows and they're at the peak of this confrontation, Laurel asks her, "Are you more afraid of us getting divorced or staying together?" Mm-hmm. I loved that she asked her that, because I think that was a little bit of a turning point maybe in Charlie's mindset of, okay, I need to take a step back and realize that Laurel and Petey are very happy together. And I'm pushing my beliefs and my views onto her when I shouldn't be doing that.
And that's where I struggled. I really struggled, because I am all for, if you see somebody you love, I had to talk this out with my husband. If you see somebody you love and they're about to make a choice that you are truly, you can see the writing on the wall, this is bad. But it's like Ethan had said, this is a long time coming. Let them be happy. And I feel like he has a more healthy view of their relationship. I think it's one thing to express your concern, but then I also feel like people have to make their own mistakes.
Yeah.
And I felt like she was just trying to interject herself into what was going on and just adamant, like, I'm right. And she will see that I'm right. And I don't connect with that kind of mentality at all. I do not connect with somebody who is just adamant that the way they feel, the way they think, everybody should feel that way, that they're right. And I love that the other characters point that out to her.
Oh, me too.
So she had some major truth bombs thrown at her, which made me really love the author for this, because for a while I was like kind of scared, like, oh my gosh, like, this lady's kind of horrible. Charlie being the lady. And then when she started having these other characters point out these things, I was like, okay, see, now other people get what I'm feeling. I like this. Okay, here we go. And it was connecting for me.
They get back home, her and Ethan, and this is where they confront their feelings. This is where he opens up. She's finally asking about why he didn't come to her wedding, and he opens up about the fact that he didn't go to the wedding because she was marrying someone else.
That wasn't him.
And he couldn't be there to witness it.
Yeah.
And even, this is where I was just kind of gutted for Ethan, because even after all this, they go their separate ways.
Yeah.
And it just kind of left unsettled for a while. It's not until Laurel and Petey show up for an intervention, which we'll get to here shortly, that I was really stressed. She does pause and give us the backstory of the bachelorette party. Let's spend a few minutes talking about what happened at the bachelorette party to cause this year-long separation and kind of a rift in their friendship.
Well, Ethan is trying to confess to her that he loves her, and he doesn't like Ethan, and he doesn't like or Rich. Not Rich. Rich, sorry, sucks. Excuse me. Yes, Rich sucks. In his defense, he had been hit in the head with an axe. So he was just feeling like, I just need to say the words that are coming out. You know, it's not going to be eloquent. And she was offended by it. And I just felt like it wasn't really fair. And he is trying to explain to her that it's like, it's because he loves her. And she says, you never told me. He said, I did tell you.
He tried to tell you. And yeah, that's unfortunate, because he does try and tell her. And all this time, she still did not pick up, even though he's almost just beating her over the head with it.
Yeah.
And she just ignores it.
Some
it's
people
very
are
sad.
just...
This was also where he gave her the phallic straw, which I was glad to figure out where that came from.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of figured it would be from a bachelorette party.
Me too, but why was she still hanging on to it a year later? But we learned that she likes to drink out of it, apparently.
It reminds her of her best friend.
I like that he takes it away at the end, at the happily ever after, because she's become...
Makes her put it with the camping stuff.
By it, so...
Yeah, you're so desensitized. You were drinking out of it when my parents were here.
Oh, that's great. So this moment where we learned about the bachelor party and the history between them is really where we get that rich backstory between the conflict. Obviously, after they have kind of confronted their feelings and gone separate ways, they're both in sad shape. And it's Laurel and Petey that show up for an intervention at her house, and they're telling her that Ethan's in much the same boat. He's selling his van. He's making all these life changes. Let's talk about this scene.
I love this scene. It was funny. A little B&E.
Yes.
I'm happy that they stepped in. I'm happy that they also kind of resolve. I love that Laurel's like, I'm still mad at you, but I want to make sure you're okay. That it just hits her all of a sudden, which I was just like, finally. Oh my goodness. It's just like, this is ridiculous. But yeah, they show up for her. And I love that when she's pointing out the songs that he's written. And she's like, they're all about you. It's like, it's right there. She's like, it's not that obvious. And they're like, yeah, it is.
Go back and listen to them.
Hello. And this is just what motivates Charlie to like, okay, I'm going to make some changes. And boy, does she make some changes.
Let's talk about her grand gesture.
First of all, I love it when we have these stories where the girls are doing the grand gesture.
Oh, me too.
I feel like sometimes it's always the guys. I've noticed more authors are doing it, and I'm here for it. I love this.
Yes.
I love that she quit her job. Mm-hmm. I love that she gets a better job still practicing law, but where they respect one another.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that she sold her house very quickly. I love that she bought the van.
Oh, me too.
Under a pseudonym. But it was very obvious because it's off of that show, that his song.
Oh, yes.
That kind of
made
them a one-hit wonder, I guess. And so, and I love that she's taking them. I was so thrilled that Ethan is there when they pull up. I love that she not only grand gestures Ethan, but her sister and Petey.
Yeah.
To allow them to have the wedding that they deserve to have. I love that she got ordained.
Oh, yes, me too.
To be able to perform that. And I love that it's not drag out. It's like a week's time, 2 weeks' time. It's not a lot of time. Thank you, author, for that, because my angst would have been a 5.
I like when he asked her, what took you so long? Because he
had
known
the whole time, and she's like, what? Yeah, it was so good that...
I love when she finds the emerald ring at the end and kind of ruins his proposal moment, and they joke about the fact they're bad at grand gestures.
Yes. I love that it's not like a proposal,
yes,
but
because she doesn't want to be married. He wants to call her his
wife. And then she turns around and is like, well, maybe we could be married. That was so good. Because I have to be honest with you. I was really sad because I thought you gave away your heart and married Rich, who didn't deserve it. Mm-hmm. And the one man who deserves your heart, and you can't even give him your all. So... Yeah. I was okay with the ending, but then the second she said, well, maybe we could be married.
Yes.
I was like, yes! He's finally getting what he deserves. So it made me
and he
so
says,
blissfully
it's the
happy.
only thing I've ever wanted. I love him.
I do too. I was so happy for Ethan. Charlie had to grow on me, but Ethan, I was here for the whole time. I was just rooting for him the whole time. It ended so good. The author did a fantastic job with the grand gesture and the ending, and the way that Charlie really kind of went on this journey. And
yeah,
I have so much compassion for her character. Mm-hmm. When you see her in the full scope of things, it's like, okay, I see you. I can understand now. So, well, that wraps up our discussion of Anywhere With You. We hope you enjoyed it and want to continue the conversation with us. You can hit us up on Instagram at Postbook Depression Podcast or on our Facebook at Postbook Depression Discussion Group. You can also email us at postbookdepressionpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, keep reading.